Hi everyone, this is Dominic from Host IQ, and if you've been using the engine, you know that we plug into your PMS system, and by doing so, we then pull into Host IQ all of your current bookings and your past bookings, as well as all your customer data, current data, and past data. We take all of that information as well as market data that we collect for specific markets, as well as competitive intelligence for your market for like properties, and even things like weather patterns. And we use all of that to give you insights on how you're performing and also actions that you can take to better grow your bookings. We're very excited today to announce that we have a feature here that will help you no longer guess at what to do or what's going on. And it's our agentic AI called Ask Host IQ. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on how this works. And basically what it's doing is it's working with all of those different data points that I had mentioned previously to give you factual information as well as suggested actions to take. So we do have, for example, here a bunch of pre-loaded questions, if you will, that you can just click on any of these. And so, for example, I'm going to say, how do my current revenues look compared to my goals? And the system is going to then take a look at all of the bookings we currently have and then the goals and compare the two. So you see it quickly came back with here we are for Q1, and I've got for my two properties 35,000 and change booked, and the goal was 31,000, so I'm above my goal. And it's even going to show me my performance for revenue. I'm a little below on my occupancy, but my revenue is over by $4,000 because my ADR, my blended ADR between my two properties is over my target ADR. So it's going to then also give you more, here's a little pie chart on the fact that we're performing better than our goals. Okay, so I'm now going to start to ask it more specific questions. So one of my properties names is Sailfish. So I'm going to ask it, how are my Sailfish revenues for Q2 compared to my goals? Because what I would like for this to help me do now is dial into any deviations from what I'm doing versus where I want to be. So if it looks at Sailfish from April 1st to June 30th, it's off to a strong start in April, but it's behind on bookings for May and June, and I'm total for the quarter and total, I'm off by about $3,600. And then it'll give me the breakdown, right? The April, May, June, and the total. So again, you can see that my actual for May is 4,100 and my target is 6,000, and same for June and such. And now it's giving me an occupancy and also for ADR. Now this is interesting because you can see my ADR is quite a bit higher than my goal. Same for June. So that may be telling me that I'm a bit overpriced. So I'm going to take a look at what more information it gives me. Now here it's showing me the same in chart form. And now I'm going to ask it, what dates should I focus on filling for Q2 to meet my goals? And again, what it's going to do is scour my current vacant dates, look at all of my historical data for booking, but also my competition and my market. So it will probably recognize that this is a shoulder month for us. And here you go. So I've got 21 open nights in May from the 1st to the 23rd. So that's a high priority, 3-week gap. From June 8th to 19th, 12 nights, high priority. Okay, and then it's showing me the medium priorities. Now this is great. It's helping me get dialed in. So I've got a total of 43 open nights. My shortfall is 3,500. I mean, if I was expecting to fill all of those 43 nights, I would be looking to get $83 a night. So let's be realistic. So realistically, what percentage of vacant nights Q2 should I expect to fill? And this is going to be interesting because, again, it's going to look at not only my historical data and my trend lines, but my market data and my competitive analysis. So any other 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, short-term rental homes that are in the area there. And so this may take a little bit longer for it to run because it's going to go through all of those data points and it's going to say, okay, here's what you probably should realistically expect to fill. Once it does this, I'm now going to be able to start diving down into more specific, and you could have done this earlier, what I'm about to do, but I just want to show you the type of information and validation that the agent will give you because of the data that it's using to make these decisions. So while it's pulling this up, I can tell you that my next two questions, well, here we go. I should realistically expect to fill about 30% of those vacant nights. And I'm expecting that it wouldn't. Here you go. So it's showing me that my historical average is somewhere in the neighborhood of 65. There it is, 66 nights. Currently, I've got 52 nights. So I really only have to book 13, 14 nights to meet my historical average. It's giving me a lead time estimate. So here we go. So if it's using my historical average, it's telling me about 30% at minimum. Okay, so if I use that 30% rate, it should start to give me pricing. So what price, here you go, preloaded question it asked for you. What pricing strategies could help me fill the May 1st to 21st gap? So what's interesting is that's what I was going to ask it. Can you tell me how to price my May to fill dates? And I'm going to anticipate that it's going to tell me that obviously my weeknights should be lower than my weekend nights. But what's interesting about this is just like dynamic pricing, it's looking at, again, all of the data for the market and for my competition, as well as my historical data. What's going to be great about this next answer is it's going to not only give me pricing, but it's going to give me essentially an on-ramp for the question I'm going to ask next. And let's see what it gives us before I tell you that next question. So here you go. Okay, so my suggested target rate is 400 bucks. My historical is 330, so it's telling me to actually price for now a little higher than what my historical is. So week one discount, drop rate to 350 to 375 a night. Okay, so it told me right here, your rates are too high for May. Now that's based on what I'm booking at now. Okay, so my historical rate of 330. So, love this. Okay, so it's giving me all these different models here. So I'm going to ask it, what should price my May week nights at? And what should I price my May weekend nights at? Please take into account specific dates for Memorial Day weekend. Okay, now it's going to give me an exact price suggestion based on that question. And then the last thing that I'm going to ask it after this is give me suggested actions of what should I do to fill these nights. So now I'll have not only my pricing model, but then it'll also give me the suggested actions to take to build my bookings. And for the agent to do that, what it will do is look at, again, not just my historical bookings, but who's typically booking. Are they repeat guests? Are they new guests? If they're new guests, are they booking from one of the OTAs? Are they coming to my website? And then it'll even tell me what am I specifically, what Airbnb or sorry, what OTA channel specifically do the best during this period. So it's telling me to keep it high for that weekend of Memorial Day. And then for my regular weekends be about 375 to 400 a night, and for weeknights to be about 300 to 325, which I will set my pricing to this. And now it's giving me more detail for each night. Okay, here's the last thing, and I'm not going to go through all these details because it could be a 20-minute video if I did that. So, action plan for pricing. There you go. Weeknights at 300 to 325, weekends at 375 to 400. Okay. What should I do to generate more bookings for May and June of this year? And now it will give me a specific plan of action. So now I know the pricing it's suggesting for May because I only asked it for May. And it's now going to give me suggested actions. And these suggested actions will not only give me a sort of a heat map in terms of what should I do, but for example, if it does suggest to me, let's say it suggests that for June, because we're at the beach here and June being a summer month, it may tell me that peak season and I've got enough time, run a social media post and turn it into a social media ad. And if it does that, my next question is going to be, can you please write the ad for me? And that I have done, and I'm actually running currently now ads on Facebook that have been created by this agent. So drop the prices immediately for those nights, run a Memorial Day special, enable instant book for Airbnb, which I already do have. Here you go, create targeted Facebook ads and Instagram ads, last minute beach getaway, email past selfish guests. Okay, so let's do something like this. This is fantastic. So it's giving you in tandem what to do and again pointing out the pricing. So let's do this. Can you create a social media post for me to promote May? Now, once this is done, this is going to take us about 15 minutes. So in essentially 15 minutes, you're going to not only be able to get insight onto how you're performing, you're going to get insight on your pricing and suggested pricing. You're going to find out which dates are priority for you to book, and it will create, in this case, I asked it to do Facebook and Instagram posts. If I had asked it to write a message for guests to approach my repeat guests, it would have done that. So here you can see that it's telling me, or it's giving me different suggestions on how to write my ad. This is fantastic. So super powerful. It's essentially like having a co-host for you. And we're really excited because this is just our first step of what we're going to be doing with regards to using the AI to give you the suggestions of what to do. So we're really excited about where we're going to take this. If you have any questions at all, or if you want more information, you can email me at help@hostiq.ai, and we can set up a one-on-one to show you more of how to use this and how to use the HostIQ platform in total. Thanks and happy STR property business building to you all.